Allegiant Azrael here, like always. Now, this is some kind of Star Trek thing. Excuse me. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's about. Let's just get into it. Check it out. See what it's all about. Let's hope it's good.
On March 11th, 1964,
Documentary?
Barry wrote 3 words on a blank page. Star Trek is. What followed was half a century of stories. The constraints of time or space.
I know all these scenes.
Always a reflection of what it means.
Deep Space Nine, Voyager,
to be human.
Next Generation, the original.
Now, Star Trek Discovery.
Don't be a video game.
That sentence once again.
Don't be a VR. Documentary, please.
Action.
Wait,
Production has begun
did I say documentary?
on the next chapter.
Oh, what? 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 What is it? No fucking way. What is it?
Star Trek Discovery. Coming to CBS All Access.
No fucking way, dude. What? What? All access? What is that? Dude. Hold on. What did it say at the...
Discovery. Coming to CBS All Access.
And watch every Star Trek episode ever made. Wow. You can go to Netflix for a lot of that. Oh my god. I honestly didn't think that it would be in my earlier lifetime that I would ever see a Star Trek series made again after Enterprise. So, oh crap. Let's just get back to it right here. So, about mid last year, 2016, I started my my watch, my epilogue. That's not the right word, I don't think. My journey of watching all Star Trek that I've seen not a lot, but I've seen my fair share. My dad's a huge fan of the Kirk generation, and I kind of thought for my general interest that I would not include the original series in my caveat, my pioneer of the Trek world, because it was really kind of like dated. Some of it doesn't hold up. There were some things I heard right before I started doing all this, before I started watching every episode that was ever made, pretty much. And that was people poking fun at the way Kirk would solve problems. Or maybe not Kirk, but Spock. If you point the lithium crystals inward, we'll get blah, 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 blah. And that kind of ruined it for me. I'd never really thought about it, about the dialogue and how science was back then. That when people were kind of putting out the lack of knowledge of how science kind of worked or could possibly work as a theory in this fantasy world, it kind of ruined it for me. It kind of ruined the experience for Kirk. So it's not like I didn't want to watch it. It was kind of like... It was kind of ruined in a way, I guess. I still kind of want to go back one of these days and check it out. I haven't seen all of it, but it might be a fun goof. I was in a very space kind of wanting to watch something awesome. And so what I did was I started with, I believe... Oh God, how does this go? I went from order of my preference because of things I haven't seen all the way or things like that. So I believe I started, now you can see at the top is Star Trek, I believe that's Kirk. There's the Next Generation, that's Picard. There's Deep Space Nine, that's with Cisco, which is the black guy. When you saw, where was he? Where was the picture we saw? Let's see if we can find it real quick. That's right here. This is, you may think this is Next Generation with Captain Picard. When you look at the Miles O'Brien and Jadzia Dax. Jadzia Dax is actually from Deep Space Nine, and O'Brien made his leap from Next Generation to Deep Space because the shows, I believe, took place relatively in the same time, within like the 5 years or so of each other, and the timeline is actually not so far apart. So that would be Deep Space. You can see on the far left, under oh god, what's his face? The Asian dude, fucking what's his name? Either way, you can see fucking Data. So that's Picard, and there's Diana Troy and Data for Next Generation. I remember that episode too. I remember this episode as well.
Time or space.
That was the one where Picard was having I think he was trapped in that world, the probe that hit him. He lived a whole lifetime as that old man on that planet, but the people died out, and they made that big space nod or module or whatever to download their history into people's minds, so their peoples were never forgotten.
But always
See on the far left, you see I can't remember her name. That's Cisco's son in the show, and Kira. I think her name is Kira. That's Deep Space Nine. We got Voyager with Captain Janeway and Tuvok and Tuvok and I can't remember the fucking. It's a simple name. I can't remember it. Oh, dude, I love the Doctor in Voyager. He's probably one of the best characters in all Star Trek. No joke. I also like Tom Paris. You can just see his eyes over Commander. What is it? Commander what? What's his name? Oh, I can't remember it because Tuvok is the Vulcan guy, right? And I can't remember. But the Doctor, the guy with the glasses over here, he was. I think he directed some. It looks like he's directing some episodes. Look at that headset. God. Yeah, just some of my favorite characters, man. From Voyager had some of the best characters, I think. And there's Will Wheaton from Next Generation. Oh my God, the Borg. My favorite thing is the Borg. Oh, this is so cool.
Star Trek.
All right, so Star Trek, I didn't watch that one specifically. That's Kirk. Next Generation's Picard, like I said. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is with Cisco, which is the space station. Enterprise is the one with Scott Bakula. I forgot his name. I forgot the Captain something or other. And there's Voyager with Captain Janeway. I watched all four of these back to back, and it took me, I think, 2 months. 7 seasons each, 25 episodes, I believe. It's like 7,000 hours or some shit like that, or more. I forgot what it was. I started with Star Trek Voyager because it's one of the last ones I actually watched. Then I watched Deep Space Nine because they actually kind of coincide with each other. The timeline. They're like, oh, what's going, like when Voyager was lost out in the middle of nowhere, and they're like talking about what's the Dominion. They're like, no, it's just something that we're dealing with back over here. The Dominion was actually a threat in Deep Space Nine, while Voyager was lost in is it the Delta Quadrant, back in the Alpha Quadrant, where Earth is at. I'm such a super nerd. You know, Deep Space Nine was dealing with the problem. So I went Voyager, Deep Space Nine, I believe. Actually, excuse me. No, I went Voyager, I went Enterprise, then I went Deep Space Nine, and then I went Next Generation. Left it off with one of my favorites. So Voyager was the last one I watched, I think, pretty much when it was on TV all those years ago when I was like a 13-year-old boy. I watched Voyager, never saw Enterprise. Watched Enterprise. I thought it was so bad at the beginning, but then it got better. I don't think Enterprise actually has 7 seasons, though. I think it has like 2. Or 3 or 4? 4. I think it has 4. I think these are all on Netflix. So I watched Enterprise, and that was great. And then I went to Deep Space Nine because I never saw Deep Space Nine either. Saw Deep Space Nine. Didn't like it at first, but then I got into it. And I'm like, oh man, it's so good. And honestly, Enterprise and Deep Space Nine, with the characters they had, it really, really was like, I don't want the show to end. Some of the Quark and all those characters, man. Jadzia Dax, the actress, she left the show on purpose. She wasn't killed off. She left the show. So I had to find a new Jadzia Dax, or whatever her name was, something Dax. And that was crazy. Enterprise had a hot, full-lipped Klingon woman that was like the hot eye candy of the show. She was in, I believe, was it the last Riddick movie? No, it wasn't the Riddick movie. She was in the last, oh God, what was it? Was it Starship Troopers? The last one, where a pod crashed, and she was like with a gun. It might have been the last Starship Troopers, I believe. And they're all that sandy white beach by the ocean. Yeah, I think it was the last Starship Troopers that wasn't animated. So yeah, I watched Enterprise, and that was really great. I had, it was a fun show. Deep Space Nine, I didn't want it to end, but it ended. There was a lot of it, and it needed to kind of end. I watched Next Generation, and I was really surprised at how much of Next Generation I had actually watched. I used to watch it on TV when I was even younger, and It was just a fun show. The Borg stuff, and then all the movies. All the movies were awesome. Those aren't on Netflix, so have fun with that. Yeah, it was just, and some of the movies were like crazy. And I don't know, man. I grew up watching stuff like this because it was a TV show. I didn't really think of it as a Star Trek. Wasn't like a Trekkie. I always liked Star Wars. Always been a fan of that, but I never grew up watching those movies either. But I saw these were like a sci-fi show for me. And as I got older, I never really was like, let's just check all this. No, I just kind of was like, whatever, here and there, Star Trek movies and maybe some of the other stuff and things like that. And it wasn't until, last year that I actually made a point to watch mostly every episode. Some episodes I remembered so well that I was like, I could speak the dialogue, so I kind of skipped those. Like one of them was like almost a whole season of just everything that they just replayed on TV over and over again. Like Voyager, like a whole season of Voyager was something that I knew. Like I remembered all of it because it was just what the best part of Voyager, and they just replayed it on TV over and over and over again. But yeah, it was just really fun. It was fun to watch, fun to go back and watch all the episodes and just check all of it out. Even the stuff I've never seen before. And if Star Trek Discovery is not just like this all-inclusive access pass to all the previous Star Trek stuff, but a new chapter, a new show, that'll be really cool. I'll be into it. And yeah, I'm just going to end it right there. I kind of blabbed a little bit, but we had a lot to say, a lot of history. So yeah, man, I'm going to end it right there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to check out any of my content, my links, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, live stream stuff, live stream. You can check out me on Twitch where I play video games and just hang out. And yeah, if you want to discuss anything we've talked about in this video, on this channel in general, you can always leave a comment down below. Love to see all the comments. I actually might watch this Star Trek episode by episode. Maybe. I actually wait and watch 2 episodes at a time because that's really fun to watch 2 hours or so. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And I'm going to get out of here. If you want to like, subscribe, or share, remember it's completely up to you. I do appreciate it, though. And yeah, once again, my name is Azrael, and I'll see you on whatever video I'm doing next. Later. My voice giving out. I talked a whole lot. I don't know what else to say now. Bye.